Hey there, this is Jexy with the Systems Alliance, and in this video, we're going to check out the new Venom trailer. So to start off, when I was growing up as a kid, Venom was always one of the coolest Spider-Man villains. But mainly, I think the reason why he was considered that was because of how cool he looked. You know, he had the cool teeth, stuff you always used to draw as a kid, you know, some crazy monster that was big and muscly and scary. But as far as the actual depth of the character, the storylines, everything like that, he hasn't been too great compared to other Spider-Man villains and other villains in general. Other than his cool looks, he didn't really have much of a role in the cartoon. In the comics, he's not as big as people probably think he is. He made this big splash when he first came on, and it's my opinion, it's others' opinions, and obviously there will be plenty of people who disagree, but to me, he hasn't been the best Spider-Man villain, or even really top 10 in my opinion. That being said, his popularity is still pretty high up, and he never really got his due in the third Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. As many people remember, no one really liked Topher Grace and his face that kept on showing for whatever reason, and that movie had other problems, mainly emo Spider-Man, too many villains, specifically too many villains having to be introduced, which is a big problem, and that marked the end of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. So we've kind of been looking for at least a redemption. I mean, there's been so many Spider-Man films, and you think he would finally get his due, and it looks like he's finally getting his due, but without Spider-Man. So we'll have to see what this trailer shows, but the first trailer, I didn't even think was a very good trailer. I did not like the first Venom trailer at all. I had kind of no idea what was going on. It didn't really make any sense. Why is he kind of looking like Spider-Man if there's no Spider-Man in this universe? And if Spider-Man is in this universe, then why aren't they showing that? Because if you want to make money, you show Spider-Man. So the fact that they're not showing Spider-Man leads me to believe that he's not in the movie. If he is in the movie, he's obviously a super small part, but I don't know. I mean, you would think you'd show Spider-Man. They still got another trailer and some time leading up to this movie, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It seems like it's just going to be a solo Venom movie. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what Sony is doing right now. Sony pictures never quite seems like they know what they're doing, so this isn't a huge surprise that they're doing something like this, but hopefully it's good. One last thing before I play the trailer is I don't know how much this movie is supposed to cost. From what I hear, it has a pretty large budget, as you would think with a character like Venom who needs a ton of really high quality CG in it, but I'm pretty worried for Sony again that they're going to come out with a movie that doesn't make the money they expect it to, especially with costs for marketing, and like the second Amazing Spider-Man movie just really kind of tanks and they don't see the returns that they expect, and it's the end of this. So obviously many would prefer they just give it over to Marvel so they can do it right, but until then, we'll just have to wait. The other reason why I'm not even sure if Spider-Man's going to be in this is because I don't know if you saw the Avengers, but he's kind of dead. So they never really showed him fighting a Venom. I'm not really sure. I don't even know, because Venom is supposed to come up obviously before the next Avengers and all that. So unless Captain Marvel brings him back at the end, I don't know, that movie's supposed to be shot in the 80s or 90s. I don't know. I don't see the connection between Venom and Spider-Man, which doesn't make sense because there's only Venom if there's Spider-Man. So without further ado, hopefully this trailer answers some questions and provides a little more clarity, but here we go. I really hate the trailers before the trailers thing. I don't want to see anything, just...
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter. I always seem to find myself questioning something the government may not be looking at. I found something really bad. And I have been...
So far this was all the original trailer.
Taken.
Look around at the world. What do you see? A planet on the brink of collapse. Human beings are disposable. But man and symbiote combined. This is a new race, a new species. A higher
Is that
life
class
form.
supposed to hold him?
What do you want from me?
You'll find out.
I'm so sorry. We cannot just hurt people.
Look into my eyes, Eddie. The way I see it. We can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal? Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
Kind of gross.
That power, it's not completely awful.
You have no idea how much you're scaring me right now.
Eddie, cooperate. And you just might survive.
Guys, you do not want to do this, trust me.
Giant leaps will always come at a cost.
Wow. Alright. Venom did always look cool, and
We will eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right up your head. You will be this honest, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Oh, I have a parasite. Yeah. Night, Mrs. Chen.
alright, so at the end, it was getting kind of funny there, but then I guess he just eats him, or we're led to believe he eats him, but if that's it, then the punchline's kind of ruined. Why does he even bother talking? He's not medicine then, and he just scares that old lady that's running the shop. The other question that I always have is, how does Venom talk? He has all these teeth. Like, we pronounce words a certain way because our teeth and tongue and lips all work a certain way. He doesn't really have that. And I see how they move down the lips to say, like, B words and P words, but that's a minor thing. I mean, the way he's drawn, he can never properly talk, but he does because, reasons. That's nitpicking, though. I mean, that's just the character. But is Tom Hardy trying to make a joke at the end there? I don't know. If that was supposed to make people laugh, I don't know, maybe it made some people laugh, but I definitely didn't laugh. He definitely looked really awesome near the end. I mean, seeing more Venom in action in the trailer, considering the first trailer hardly had any Venom in it. This was pretty cool. They've obviously been working on the CG. I don't think that will be an issue. I'm perfectly cool with the way he looks. He looks great. He looks like he does in the comics and cartoons and video games, all that stuff. He looks fine. But just the movie doesn't look that great, and it still doesn't make any sense. Much of the first part of the trailer is what we saw in the original trailer, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling this movie for whatever reason. I really have no interest in getting to know this character as he's starting out. Maybe it's because I'm tired of origin stories, That's, to me, what was great about the introduction of Spider-Man in Captain America's Civil War. There was no origin for him. You already know who Spider-Man is. You've seen enough origin stories of him. You've seen enough movies with him. Just introduce him. He's already being Spider-Man. Doesn't have the cool suit, whatever, gets that from Tony Stark, but he's already Spider-Manning around New York City. There was no need to introduce him. With Venom, his backstory has never been as interesting as Spider-Man's. They've never gone into him nearly as deeply because he's just not that interesting of a character compared to a Spider-Man, which is fine. I mean, he's a villain, doesn't have to be, but maybe that's why I don't want a whole movie about it. Not trying to be too negative here, still gonna see it. Hopefully it's good. It still can be good. Maybe the marketing just isn't hitting me right, and maybe the trailers just aren't hitting me right, but that's what kind of worries me about the trailers. If they're not hitting me right, someone who's probably going to see the movie anyway, how are they going to hit the audience that's outside of the comic book world and get them to come in to see the movie? If there's no Spider-Man, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a little difficult, especially if they're keeping their higher budget. And now that I think of it, maybe the reason why this trailer and the previous trailer aren't doing it for me is because I've already seen this movie. Upgrade came out just a few months ago, and so far that movie seems like this. What they're showing in the trailers is basically the movie Upgrade. Like, he can do all these things. It's not really him. It's kind of a hive mind going on in his head that's controlling his body and everything like that. And he has superhuman abilities because of that connection. So I guess the problem is Upgrade, not only in the trailers, but the actual movie seems way better than this Venom movie. So anyway, we'll just have to see. Let me know what you thought about this trailer. Did it make you want to see the movie more? Did it make you not want to see the movie? Are you going to see it anyway, like me, just because it's a comic book movie and this is stuff that you're into, good or bad? Some people are saying they're having trouble understanding him. I didn't have any trouble understanding him. I think he sounds kind of cool. You'll obviously be able to hear it once you're in the theaters if anyone's having trouble, but I don't know, I'm usually able to understand any sort of accent on the phone too, so maybe I'm the outlier, who knows. So please leave a like, comment in the comment section below, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.